And so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the reality that God created us to walk in faith, not be consumed with fear. That He created us to walk in our God-like authority with power, not timid. And so let me ask you, how many of you really know in the depths of your heart that God wants us free from the type of fear that paralyzes us? That He didn't create us to just stand on the sidelines of life, watching life's parade pass us by, maybe too afraid, too timid, to get into the game, to get into the game of life with both feet. Maybe you're too afraid to play the game of life, expecting and planning to win. Maybe you're afraid you're not enough, not smart enough, not talented enough, not educated enough, not attractive enough. But let me say that God created you enough, that you are enough. I don't care what other people think. I don't care what other people say. I don't care what maybe you said to yourself. You are enough. In fact, you're more than enough. You are the child and the creation of God, created to create greatness in this earth. And again, not based on what others think or how others define greatness, but what you think and how you describe greatness. Realize that it vexes God as our Father when He finds us believing that He sent us into this world lacking the resources that's needed for us to live and to have a great life. Where we think that it's not enough either within us or not enough stuff in the earth for us to have a good portion of life for ourselves. Do you know anybody that thinks like this? Who possesses scarcity mentality? That somebody has to lose in order for them to win? And the reason that God doesn't like this is because He knows that this kind of thinking only turns us against ourselves in a game of competition, one versus the other, as if there can't be a win-win situation or solution. See, He knows that if we would only compete against the best of who we are, that we can have all the good desires of our heart, that it's enough good stuff for all of us. And so He wants us free from the fear that we're not loved by Him, that we're not enough, free from the belief that we have to qualify for His love or that we have to belong to a religious group in order to be loved or accepted by Him. It's true. God wants us to live courageously, to be courageous in our pursuit of Him, courageous in our pursuit of His favor, courageous in our pursuit of manifesting the things and the people that we want into our lives. See, the God that is the creator and father of all humans, by whatever name you call Him, He wants us to know Him intellectually beyond names and beyond religion. And this because He knows that this is the only way for us to truly know ourselves, to know who we are beyond our names and beyond our human labels. He knows that it's the only path to truly walking in the power that we're all created and connected to, the power that creates worlds. See, God wants us to live life looking for blessings, expecting miracles and abundance to find and to follow us all the days of our lives. And let me just say that courage isn't the absence of fear. No, it's not the absence of fear. It's actually the belief to do it, to pursue it, to believe that all things are possible, and to know that no weapon formed against you shall prosper in permanently keeping you from manifesting the things in the life that you desire. It's moving despite your fear. It's overcoming fear with faith. And yes, God wants us to overcome fear because He knows that fear leads to anxiety. If we don't defeat it, it's going to lead to anxiety. And maybe you know somebody who can't sleep at night, who tells you about tossing and turning all night because they're consumed with worry in their hearts and their minds. Maybe you know somebody who always seems anxious, who just can't seem to relax in any situation because they're constantly wondering where the other shoe is going to drop. In fact, Some of us are so gripped with fear that we can't even really enjoy life because we feel like we're just holding on, barely keeping up with life, and that it's not getting any better for us. But know that God created us in his image and in his likeness, and he stamped all of us with a seal that reads, created to win. And so let me tell you what this means. It means that he created a seed to be planted into the dirt of the earth, to grow into a beautiful, healthy tree that produces good fruit that not only blesses us in our own personal lives, but that overflows and blesses others. And this he did regardless of who we are, regardless of the soil that he planted us into in the earth. And so I want you to think about the life of a seed before it becomes a beautiful tree that people marvel about, and how it goes under intense pressure, how it's buried underneath the weight of the earth, how it's drenched in water, how sometimes it's even trampled on, yet it still grows into something that's great, something that beautifies and blesses the earth, and that is you. See, God knows that if we not faint, if we not give up, if we keep looking up and growing up, then we'll blossom into the phenomenal persons that he created us to be. See, he wants us free from fear and anxiety because he knows that fear and anxiety only leads to depression and other mental illnesses. And I know this personally. I know personally what happens. And typically what happens is you start focusing and fixating on what's missing instead of what's present. And what life teaches us about our focus is that whatever we seek, we find. Whether it harms us or whether it helps us, whether it builds us up or whether it tears us down. See, God wants us to have hope and a bright future and feel the joy of life in life's unfolding. He wants us to possess the faith to know that all things are working together for our good, that no weapon formed against us shall prosper, that if we do the work and plant the seed, that he will cause it to grow. And this reminds me of something the Apostle Paul said. He said that I might plant the seed, Apollos might water the seed, but that it's God that causes the seed to grow and to increase. Well, it's God that causes us to grow, to increase our territory. Certainly we have to do the work, but it's him that causes us to grow. And he wants us to overcome our fear, because he knows that excessive fear leads to a loss of hope that things will ever get better, which then leads to us feeling like, why even give 100%? Because it's just a waste of time. And this stops us from being intentional about creating the lives, manifesting the lives we want. And it makes it easier for us not to produce in life, for us to give up. And God didn't create us to give up. He didn't create fear to win in our lives. No, he created us to overcome both the fear that's internal and the obstacles that are external. And so say with me, today I overcome fear with faith, with courage, and with confidence. Say with me that with God I win. And before we conclude, I would be remiss if I didn't offer you the opportunity to know God beyond names and religion, to know him the way that he's always wanted us to know him. And so for this elevated way of understanding God, visit carloshead.com and click on the university link. And there you can learn about and also enroll in the course, The Real Truth About God Beyond Names and Religion. Also, I ask that you would follow me on social media at carloshead07 or on Twitter or I think YouTube, carloshead at 07. And lastly, I ask that you would like and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel so that you're always up to date on any new conversations and discussions like this. I love you, beloved. And until next time, have a blessed and wonderful day. In fact, be a blessing to someone else. that might need a little light shone into their darkness.